Aloha, I'm Austin Hutto for another Akaku tutorial. Today we're going to be learning how to edit an iMovie for iOS mobile devices. iMovie is a free app for all owners of Apple devices and looks like this. If it's the first time that you've opened up the application, it will welcome you and then open to the Projects pane with the ability to create a project. You'll have the option to create a trailer or a movie. The trailer option has lots of fun templates to play with for like a short movie trailer type edits, but we're going to be focused on creating our own project from scratch. By choosing movie, the app will open you to the media on your device. Go to the video tab, select create movie at the bottom of the window in blue to see your project timeline. From here you can start to add your video and other elements. It's worth navigating the options before you start to build your project. So on the right hand of the media window there's a question mark for help. When you click on it, you'll see how it shows you what all the other icons mean. There's Add Media, go back to Projects pane, drag to move, changing the theme, record audio, tap to undo, show or hide audio waveforms, or learn more. If you tap the Learn More option, you'll see that there are awesome help sections right in the app. I highly encourage you to look through these. Selecting Done takes you back to the regular timeline. Let's look at the settings next. You'll see there are color filters and theme options if you're creating a trailer, and provided soundtracks for trailers as well. You could also choose a fade in or fade to black. There is also a pitch and speed default that you should not change. Now we can get started on building your edit. So if your screen comes up like this and there's no media window, go to the plus. Let's go to Video in our Media tab. I'm going to go to Recently Added. Select the clip you want to import in your project. A yellow frame will highlight the clip, and then we'll display an Add icon if you want to add the entire clip into the timeline, and a Play icon to review it. If you only want a portion of the clip, use the bolder yellow clip ends to grab and drag to the start and end of the clip. This will make our selection. Then add it with the plus button. The clip is then imported into your timeline. The white line right here is our timeline playhead. It displays what frame we are currently on in the preview window. The playhead automatically goes to the end of your added clip for you to add to your next clip. And if you want to import more clips in your timeline, repeat the process. Press the add icon, go to your videos, then select your next clip. Trim it in there if needed, or you can trim it directly on your timeline. So let's demo that. Add a full clip, then on the timeline pull the start and end of the clip to modify it. You may find that one method works better for you than the other. Once a clip is added, it can be further fine-tuned on your timeline. To undo any changes, press the back arrow. Notice that the app adds a cross dissolve as a default between your clips. If you tap on the transition, you'll be able to change it with a few options. You'll see None, Dissolve, Slide, Wipe, and Fade. You'll also see the duration of that transition, and that's up to 2 seconds. Remember, less is more, and you should use a transition if it suits the purpose of your story. You may have noticed that when we added a new clip, that another icon showed up with 3 dots. That's because with one clip on the timeline, you could choose to add another clip over that, called Cutaway. When we select it, you'll see that we have the options for Cutaway, Picture-in-Picture, Split Screen, Green Screen, or Audio. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to edit, and I'm going to put this as a cutaway over the top of this. Now we have our interview down here and have B-roll that will go over it. And from there I can make certain adjustments. When I deselect it, I can then grab the clip and move it over across where I want it on the timeline. You could also make cuts by selecting the clip and moving the playhead to where you want it to cut. And then by clicking Split, that will make a cut. Now you could select Cut, Duplicate, or Delete. Those are the cutting and deleting options. Next is our time adjustment. By clicking on the timer, you'll see that we have the tortoise all the way up to the rabbit, and that will slow down or speed up our footage. We'd also create a freeze frame, which is basically like a photo. And you can make a freeze frame by hitting freeze on this desired frame. Now that one frame is a freeze frame. By moving the cursor, you're able to make the freeze frame longer or shorter. Clicking add will make a cut in our time adjustment for multiple speed adjustments. Now the section of the video that we did an add to and made a time adjustment for is a lot quicker than this other side. For audio adjustments, you could see that once we've selected the clip on the timeline we want to make adjustments to, select the speaker icon to adjust the sound. Grab the white dot to adjust. This will adjust our sound level. Make sure that all of your clips are at the same level, so use headphones and listen in your edit so that you can match them. Then we can go to T for titles or text. You're only given several look options and only 2 placement locations, either in the center of the screen or lower third style. You are unable to move the text around. In another tutorial video, I will show you how you can create your own graphics in an application called PicMonkey to import into iMovie. See how this one is more like a lower third, and these more standard ones are in the center of the screen. Then you could select them and type. Our next tab is filters. It gives you a variety of color filters and treatments if you want to put over the top of your image. Here, I'll show you the difference. I'm going to make a cut, then I'm going to select this video, and you'll see we have many different looks. It gives you a variety of color filter treatments if you want them, but for the most part they're kind of unnecessary. You'll see the difference. So once your video is edited, now you can fine-tune your audio adjustments. To have audio go from one clip to run underneath another clip, go to Actions and Detach Audio. Select the speaker and click Fade. This way you can fade your audio in and out, similar to a video transition. If fade is not selected, your audio will be a straight cut. And make sure all your video cuts are finished first before you detach the audio track from the video. Because if you make changes and move things around, your edit will go completely out of place. And by moving things around, that audio is now not on this anymore. You could also import photos to use in your video. Select the photo you want and press the plus. The program defaults to a Ken Burns effect. This is basically a slow zoom and push in and out on the image. To make changes, select the image and it'll say Ken Burns enabled, and you can go to the beginning of the clip and basically move the image with your fingers where you want it to position or where you want it to start from. Let's say I want to start from the bottom and then go to the end, and I want it to end here. From now, it will go from the bottom to the top. But let's say you just want a straight static image. Then click Ken Burns enabled, and it will disable it. Enabled, disabled. You could extend or shorten the length of your photo in the timeline the similar way that you can with a video. Since it's just an image, it's not going to change. It's still the same photo, but it's just extending it or shortening it. Another feature is a voiceover. Click the microphone icon and then click record. There will be a countdown and then click stop to finish. You can retake, review, or accept the track. The track is then added underneath your video track like the rest of the audio. And you will want to script this out to get the timing right. Lastly, you could also add music. If you go to audio in your media, you could use music from your music library, but remember, do not use licensed music if you're sharing your video to a public platform because of copyright laws. Instead, you could choose provided music soundtracks in the iMovie application. You could also use built-in sound effects on your phone. Click on the track that you want to use. It will download, select it, hit plus, and it will add it to your timeline. Now the music will go all the way to the beginning and start from the very beginning of your video. Unfortunately, there's no way of moving it around in the timeline. When you are finished, click Done. From here, you can watch it to review it, or you can upload or trash your video. You could also go back out to projects if you want to edit multiple projects. By clicking on this upload button, we'll have the option to export the project or save it. If you hit export project, this will prepare the project for sharing on another device, such as a MacBook computer, and using the iMovie on that MacBook computer. But most likely, you're going to be saving your video to your phone. So click Save Video. Then you can select a different resolution depending on where you want to share it. You could even save it to the theater for sharing on your phone. I recommend using Full HD 1080, but remember, the higher the resolution, the larger the file. Select a resolution and it will then export your project as a video into your Photos application. From there, you could submit your video to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You could even submit to us by going to akaku.org/submit. Thank you for checking out this tutorial. We hope that it helps. Akaku, this is how we stay connected.